Well, hello, and greetings, friends. Welcome once again to the Black Entrepreneurs Institute show. We are back with another incredible episode. I promise you, this is not one of these episodes that you want to miss. You want to be here for the entire time. And I am pleased to be here today with the fabulous, the phenomenal, none other than Dr. Nicole Rankin.
Me! Hey, everyone!
Welcome, Dr. Nick. Glad to have you. So Angela and Cedric are not with us today, but they're in support. And so Dr. Nick and I are going to be rocking out this show today, but it is as it should be. So Dr. Nick, tell me, how are you doing?
I am wonderful. I am wonderful. No complaints. The weather is warming up. It is getting into that summertime, and I am ready.
Yes. As Jamaicans, we love the sun and we love the hot weather. So
That's right.
it's our
That's
time of year.
right.
It's interesting because this was a great weekend. Yesterday was Memorial Day. And, first and foremost, we certainly want to thank all of our service men and our service women for the sacrifices that they've made to protect the freedom that we get to enjoy in this beautiful country of America. And, I know lots of people look forward to Memorial Day weekend as a time of rest and
Mhm.
relaxation and spending time with friends and loved ones. So, Dr. Nick, how did you spend the weekend?
Well, yeah, we had it. It was definitely family time. So I had a cousin who graduated from high school. So we gathered together, graduation time, and for barbecue, definitely have to have food, right? And no other American barbecue in a Jamaican household without jerk chicken and curry goat, right?
Yes, you're talking my language. If you don't know about jerk chicken and curry goat, you need to find out. Go get you a Jamaican
Uh,
friend and get down. I'm telling you, those are
right?
my favorite too.
An American barbecue with jerk chicken and curry goat, right? And
That is
just
fun.
family, friends, and of course the music playing, just having a good time. So yeah, it was good. We had a great time. What about
Well,
yourself?
so yeah, we had a good time. I spent some time on the grill. My wife told me that I would be on
Mm,
the grill, and of course, we had some music playing, and we had the kids in the backyard, and we brought the sprinkler out, and so they got
mhm.
wet, and we had some time in the fun. Dr. Nick, is really the simple things in life that make for the best memories. I think sometimes we make things so complicated, and we want to do these big, elaborate things, but we just kept it simple, and
Yeah.
we had just a wonderful time.
I agree. Sometimes it's that those moments where you just do small things. Really makes a difference. It's all about creating memories,
Yeah.
especially when you're with your family. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's interesting because during this weekend, I got to have some time to reflect,
Mhm.
and as I was reflecting, I was really thinking about the fact that today is June 1st, so we
Mhm.
are approaching the midpoint of the year, and so that had me thinking about halftime. Now, I'm not like a super duper sports fan or anything, but I was thinking about halftime, and the thought came to me that at halftime is where you begin to make adjustments, right? And then I started listening to this podcast about halftime adjustments. And essentially, what he was saying was that in the world of sports, all coaches have a pre-game plan. And they basically look at the game that they're going into and they try to figure out what they want to accomplish against the opponent, right? So they try to map it all out, maybe the first 12 or 15 plays. They get that pre-game plan for basically how they want to dictate the game. But then guess what happens? The game starts and they begin to run those plays, right? And
Mhm.
although the pregame planning is important, the what really happens is that you end up with surprises because things don't always go according to plan, right? You get hit with that reality. You have your plan, and then you have the reality. And in the podcast, it talked about how the difference between good coaches and great coaches is not the pregame plan, but it's the halftime adjustments that really separate the good from the great coaches. And the reason, Dr. Nick, why that is because after the play begins to run and they know what their opponent is going to do, now they're dealing with that reality and they have to go back in and they have to figure out what they need to do to win. And so basically great coaches make terrific halftime adjustments. They come out strong and they win the game. And the point that the author of the podcast made was that the thing that is needed most when it comes to halftime adjustments is agility, pivoting, and making adjustments. So we have to be in adjustments. And so,
Mhm.
Michael Hyatt, he's a phenomenal author. He said that you don't drift to a desired location. There's nothing about drifting that brings success to us, and I think that that is so true. And so I'm bringing this all in now because I was thinking about how this applies to business and entrepreneurship, and I realized that halftime adjustments basically means that we need to change. It means that we
Mhm.
have to be
Mhm.
intentionally agile, intentionally pivoting, and intentionally making adjustments in our business because we basically, as entrepreneurs, we have to be flexible enough to lean into change and not wait, but lean into change and lean into change early. So as I was thinking about that, I was thinking about, what are some of the things that I need to do and the pivots I need to make and the adjustments I need to make so that I can close out the second half of 2021 strong. And so
Mhm.
let me ask you, what are some of the adjustments and pivots that you're planning on right now, even in your business, as you look into the end of the year?
Yeah, Damien, that's a great question. But first, let me say that our co founders, Angela and Cedric, will be so proud of you for this sports analogy that you just talked about. I know that they are listening in and just smiling from ear to ear.
I worked on it.
Yeah. You did that like you were a true fan. No, with all seriousness, no. This is a time as we enter in the second half of the year. I have really been really intentional about my business development. And as well, we have our boot camp and our Emerald group, and we're going through the E-Myth. And it's all about systems and making sure you have the right systems in place. And as the coin phrase by Michael Gerber says, learn how to work on your business rather than in your business. So
Right.
for me, it has been a tremendous time in rereading the E-Myth and thinking about what pivots I do need to make and what adjustments I do need to make to take myself from working in the business and more so working on the business the latter half of the year. So some things that I have done is I've gotten some more software to make sure that I'm automating a lot of things. And then also
Good.
hired help. Hired help. They said the law of empowerment says only strong leaders are able to give their power away. So it's the learning how to let go and knowing that you don't have to do it all. And even as a solopreneur, you think that it's all about you doing everything and having your
Hmm.
hands in everything. But that, like you said, that evaluation and reflection on how can you make things better, how can you go the long mile to reach the goal at the end. And I realized I can't do it all, so I hired some outsourced a lot of my duties, so that freed up a lot of time. And let me tell you, the weight that is lifted when you realize, like, wow, I don't have to do that anymore. It makes you think about your time and how to spend your time more wisely and more effectively doing the things that are in your strength zone to grow
Yes.
your business. So those are some things, just a couple of things that I have done to help me carry out the remainder of the year. So I'm looking for an exciting second half of 2021.
It's funny because I think you must have been reading my playbook, right? Because that's the thing that I've been working on is getting more help. So really, I'm looking into an additional virtual assistant to take over
Mhm.
some of because in your business there are things that have to be done that you don't like doing. You know as well
Mhm.
as I do. There's some things that the certain work that must be completed, and you push through it, but it's not in your strength zone. It's not even something that you like to do. And to say that when I get the second VA hired to hand this stuff off, I can already feel the weight that's going to lift. And the thing about that is it's going to expand my capacity to really do the things that I'm really great at doing. So really, really excited to hear about that. So congratulations to you, and really hope that those changes that you make bear the type of fruit that you're looking for.
Absolutely.
So friends, today I've been waiting for this day, this guest that we have today. I've been waiting for this show for a long time, and it is going to be phenomenal. But just before we bring her forward, I just want to share a couple of announcements to you because I'm excited about this too. So registration is open for our very next BEI Connect and Collab, and I'm so excited. If you missed the first one, don't make that same mistake twice. So the Connect and Collab, what is it? This is our premier networking event for entrepreneurs, and it's happening on Saturday, June 19th. Saturday, June 19th, and it's from 10 to 12. We're going to do 2 power hours of networking. And by the way, that's 10 to 12 Eastern Standard Time. And so what happens at Connect and Collab? Well, this is where we bring together entrepreneurs from all across the country for just a time of connecting, a time of strategizing, and a time of collaborating. So, what we say is that we bring quality people together in a collaborative environment. And let me tell you, when you get quality people that come together with a mindset of abundance and a spirit of collaboration, magic happens. So you don't want to miss it. The registration link for Connect and Collab is in the comments. And so be sure that you go ahead and you register right now. Matter of fact, I'll just put it on the screen. So go ahead and get registered ASAP so that you can get started on registering for the event, and bring a friend. Don't come alone. Bring someone with you because you will enjoy it, because the feedback that we've gotten from Connect and Collab has been outstanding. And so all those people that came the first time, they're looking to come back and bring a plus one. And we want you to be in the room. So be sure that you come to Connect and Collab. All right. So now that I'm done with the announcements, the moment is here and the time is upon us. We have a powerful guest today in the person of ZeEster Browning. Now, let me just bring her on stage so that way I can give her a proper introduction, because you've got to hear this bio. So ZeEster, welcome. Welcome, welcome.
Hi, thank
Hi.
you. Thank you for inviting me. So
We're
happy to
glad that
be
you're
here.
here. Yes, we're equally as happy. So friends, listen, we've got royalty in our presence. So let me give her the proper introduction so you know who is with us
Oh,
today.
wow.
So ZeEster Browning goes by the term or the name that Salesforce lady, and she is the CEO and the managing partner of CRM Optimization Group. This is a Christian-based, minority-owned and operated IT consulting firm. She's a 16-year veteran in the Salesforce industry. Being both a woman of distinction and dedication, she was inducted into the Salesforce Hall of Fame in 2009. And in addition to that, she is also the founder and chairman of the board for the Becoming Project Incorporated, which is a nonprofit organization providing programs and services to assist men, women, and children, get this, in identifying, developing, and utilizing their individual greatness for the betterment of themselves, their families, and the community at large. We could stop right there. I just love that. Now, here's the thing. She is both an advocate and a catalyst for change. She has dedicated her life and her life's experiences to changing the financial narrative in the African American and underserved communities by way of training, career development, and increasing opportunities in STEM related industries. Just wow. So let me tell you a little bit about her on the personal side. ZeEster is the proud mother of two sons, Julian and Jalen, and she is the doting grandmother of her three grand divas. So
Yes.
not granddaughters, grand diva. So there's Jayla, Taylor, and Jade. And although she wears many hats and has been called to many things, the title which she holds the most esteem for her is privileged daughter of the king. And she proudly proclaims that she is God's girl for life. So friends,
Yes.
let's give a big virtual welcome to ZeEster Browning.
Oh, wow. What an intro. It's hard. I just need to just drop the mic and walk off before I just undo all that you just said.
No, 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 no. We want you to do what that bio says and more,
Absolutely.
Siesta.
But I just thank you both, and thank you, your organization, for inviting me and giving me an opportunity to just share who I am and what I do with your audience and with you. And I've already been blessed, if I can say that, just from the conversation and the intro that you guys have already spoken. It's like you've just been talking about my life for the past 6 months, you know. So
Well,
I
that's
really appreciate being here.
no, we're so
We're
appreciative
glad to
of you
have you.
taking the time, right? So I tell you what, you know what, we've read the bio, but I tell you what, Ziester, why don't you just take a couple minutes and tell us about yourself, and
Okay.
specifically because we're the Black Entrepreneur Institute, we want to hear how and why you began your entrepreneurial journey.
Oh, wow. So you said a lot about who I am in on paper, but at the core of everything, I'm a country girl. I grew up and born and raised from Covington, Georgia. So I'm a Georgia peach, you know, started born and raised here. And from that background and that upbringing, it's just the simplicity of life and just the core of love and respect and honor for the people around you. And those are some of the things that I've seen that I just want to make sure we infuse in our family and our generation and extend out. So I come from a large family. I'm talking about a large family. My father had 7 sisters, and it was 2 boys. So it was
Wow.
9 of them, right? And so we have done a great job of duplicating and multiplying on this earth. So when you look at the family pictures, there's so many of us. So at the core of everything, I'm about God, and I'm about family, and I'm also about connecting with each other and really building up the people around me. Honoring and respecting the connections that we have. And we hear the term servant leader all the time. And I think oftentimes it's just thrown around. But I truly feel that to honor God for all that he's done, I have to be a servant. I have to lead from a place where I'm looking at those that I have been sent here to help.
Mm,
And what got me, and that's the reason why I got into entrepreneurship. One is because God made me so different that it's hard for me to sit 9 to 5 and just do the same thing. So I never really fit into that corporate blueprint. I was able to kind of manage it, but I didn't fit. All of the things that made me unique were things that colored outside of the lines. And so being at a point, I actually embraced it and understood, Z, you just different. I grew up being good at a lot of things and never really knowing what was my one thing. And so the Becoming Project was birthed first because,
really?
yes, because it was, you're never too old to become who God created you to be. I was the first project in the Becoming Project, right? I was the first one that had to identify my individual greatness, all of those components. And I try to look at life not like a resume of a linear timed events, but as a portfolio, because every single experience is different. Everything that makes me who I am is different. So after I started the Becoming Project, I began to see that I wanted everyone to know that they were individually great, that it was some greatness in you. And I would say that I was like, you were born with an individual greatness that's not steeped in comparison or judgment. It's something that no one else has ever done in this world, because there was never a you before you became a you. So I always say you have an individual greatness. And some people, when you say that and you say God created everyone with an individual greatness, that's the first time they ever stop and actually think, what is my gift? Like, what am I great at? So when you talk about intentionality, that's one of my words. That's my thing, being intentional.
Yeah.
And so after I quit a very lucrative job, I'm gonna tell y'all, I was making 150% more than I had ever made in my entire life.
Wow.
And the CIO came to me and said, Z, you'll never have to worry about ever losing your job. You're here for life as long as you want to be. And I looked at him and I said, I never worry about getting downsized and let go, because I'm only going to be here as long as God would allow me to be anyway. You don't want me after my season is over, And so he looked at me strange because he thought he was comforting me. Little did I know 6 months later, I was going to be handing in my resignation to just go off in oblivion. I mean, I just got a nudge from in my spirit to say, you're no longer supposed to be here. I left to start the Becoming Project. I had started it in August of 2009. I left corporate America with no job. And I don't suggest this for everybody. I told y'all.
Disclaimer.
I don't color within the lines. I'm gonna tell y'all a lot of stuff that I don't color in between the lines. So I left, with no job, with no anything, but just an idea that it's never too late to become the person God has created you to be. I'm a talent scout for God. I can identify gifts, and I want people to really know that there's something more inside of you. So that's how it started, with a desire. But then you cannot help people if they don't have money. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for you to look outside of your need to actually begin to shape who you are. You know what I'm saying? The first thing you acknowledge is your need before you have the ability to reflect on who you are.
Yes, that's so true.
So that was the transition from the nonprofit to starting the firm. It's because I needed a for-profit organization that could support those philanthropic desires that I had. And I had to eat too. I have 2 sons and 3 granddievas, and all of them, I could do sunshine, sprinkles, and love all day, and they still gonna be like, what we're gonna eat. So
with the food.
What you cook. So COG, I call it COG, CRM Optimization Group, was birthed out of a desire to leverage what I see, which is Salesforce, which is a booming industry, which is a niche market that we see year over year, that there are more clients and more jobs than there are skilled labor, right? So this is a problem that is growing exponentially. But then again, there's a whole population that have not the ability to tap into it. So I decided to be a bridge to a high paying skill set, and not only be a bridge, but to partner and come together. The Becoming Project, the nonprofit, actually trains people in Salesforce, and COG actually works to get contracts so that we can hire people and feed them. So it's a marriage out of necessity.
I love that. Such an amazing story, and you truly an inspiration. Just your journey that you just shared, and I know there's so much more.
It's a lot.
It's so much more. I'm going to take you up on that time. We're going to have some tea, and we're just going to sit down and just have a great time. So when you talked about the marriage between the for-profit and the nonprofit, and you shared about Salesforce. Can you just explain further what is Salesforce, and then how does your business serve your clients?
Absolutely. So Salesforce, First of all, I don't get paid by Salesforce, so this is not a plug for them. Salesforce is an application, just like you, for those of you who don't know, it's just like Microsoft Word, something that you use. It's an application, it's a business tool for companies, but it's a CRM, it's a customer relationship management application. It allows any business of any size, because it's scalable from 1 to 1 million, to be able to manage your customers, the view of your customer, the 360-degree view of your customer, from the moment they decide that they are interested in a product to where they become your customer, to upselling, cross-selling, and also to maintaining and sustaining the relationship that you build for that customer. It gives you analytics to show you how to grow your business, to forecast, which we know in business, your ability to forecast really impacts your stock, your stock prices, how well your predictability, your forecasting, how well the executives are able to show that they really know what they're talking about, just to boil it all down, really pushes that bottom line. So because we are, as professionals, and I teach my students this, to know their value in the market, know how your cog actually pushes the machine, how it makes the machine work. And then you'll understand and be confident in the fact that they're paying you the 6 figures. They're paying you what they pay you. And this is the only opportunity that I have experienced firsthand, that you can make 6 figures without a college degree, without a years and years. I've had students that within less than a year went from not knowing Salesforce to making 6 figures in the industry through the program. And so you ask about the nonprofit. The nonprofit, actually, we have a program, which is one of the first programs. It's called Becoming a Force. And we train people. You guys, I've been training people since 2009 for free to learn Salesforce. I've trained more than 200 people on Salesforce. And I just run and shout to the hilltops, learn Salesforce. And it's not because, although I'm that Salesforce lady, it's not because I say just everything in your life you need to be focused on Salesforce. It's because it is a tool. It is a resource. It's an opportunity to generate a stream of income with what you know, without it equating to what you do. I get paid for what I know. I don't trade time for dollars. I trade knowledge for dollars. And if you heard what I said before, the market and the industry is growing, it's booming, but the resources that support and undergird that industry is not growing enough to keep up with it. Now we see there's going to be a demand, right? So we need to be the ones that supply. And so the Becoming a Force program is a way that we train people to be able to work in that industry. And then my company, CRM Optimization Group, we actually support the implementation of this application, meaning the customization. We make it fit for your business. So it's like Salesforce is a box of cake mix, and we are master bakers. We're artisans. We go in, we make it do what we put the fondant and the frills. We do all of those things so that it's not only a cake, it becomes an experience. So the individuals that work with us, we are Salesforce experience architects. So we craft an experience. And those in my training program, they're artisans, because I teach them how the fundamentals and the architecture and all of the things of Salesforce, because you saw that I told you about the demand. So you got microwave professionals popping up like popcorn everywhere, but they don't have the knowledge. They just have the availability. And we've seen a lot over the course of with this pandemic, and over the course of the past, I guess, 3 to 5 years, of a lot of people just faking it. trying to fake it till you make it,
Mhm.
you know. But we're building those strong, you know, hit the ground running. You can test me if you want to, you know, resources that's gonna stand and that's gonna build and that's gonna. I'm trying to duplicate myself. I don't want to be a millionaire. I changed my direction from becoming a millionaire to making 10 millionaires. So that's my goal, you know, is to bring up 10 millionaires. I've already duplicated myself in being able to get people from 0 to 6 figures. So now I want to make some millionaires in our pursuit to this $1 billion company that we're building.
Wow, that is incredible. So, audience, if you have listened into to what she has shared, she talked about identifying a need in the market.
Mhm.
Focusing on developing the knowledge and the skills, and then meeting that need. And so, as entrepreneurs, that's what we do. We solve problems. There's a big problem,
Absolutely.
a problem that's growing, and her business is solving that problem and getting paid in the process, and developing other people who are solution providers as well, so that they can get paid. In the Black Entrepreneurs Institute, we really believe that it is a bigger win when we help others learn how to win, and you are living that out. So, ZeEster, let me ask you this, because a lot of people, are in a job right now that they're not passionate about, and they feel stuck, and they want to make the transition into entrepreneurship, but that transition is not always easy. For you, what was the most challenging aspect of your transition?
Um, the most challenging aspect for me was having someone, having a mentor, having someone that I could connect to help me navigate through those decisions that, like, what should my business structure be, or things that are not the flashy things of just going out there getting business, doing the job. It's a lot of people who can bake a good cake, but can you run a bakery? Can you manage resources? Can you identify the best vendors with the best products? And so for me, it was the fact that there was no one had blazed a trail for me.
Mm,
In most circles, I was the only Black woman. In a lot of circles, I'm still the only Black woman in the Salesforce circle that I'm in. Mind you, Salesforce has 2% Black in their company. Whew, but we're looking to change that. We're looking to, and it's really not. I try not to focus on black or white or that kind of thing.
mhm.
But we know, if we just do, because we go beyond. I'm just not the best Black woman in this industry. Hey, it's some areas that I am the best. You could put me up against a Black man, white woman, Chinese, whatever. We talking about what is your gift, what elevates you. So I think not having someone that could help me navigate through and really find my niche. So I've had to reinvent myself so many times. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm in a place right now when you guys were talking about taking the second half of the year. I actually, December 31st of 2020, I set out on a sabbatical, a 6-month sabbatical.
Wow.
So I've been on a 6-month sabbatical, spiritual sabbatical from January, and it's going to end this month on June 30th. I don't want it to end, but it's going to end. And the purpose of it was to realign myself, to reevaluate, to be reintroduced to the strengths that I have. Because oftentimes when you are faced with people that you want to get paid and other things that you want to do, you will veer off the course towards a particular thing that looks lucrative. And so we had to level set in these 6 months, and we're looking to come out strong in July. I have a few nuggets that we're going to toss out there for your audience that no one else knows. That's a result of this 6-month hiatus of me shutting down. I didn't shut down everything, but I shut down a lot of things
Mhm.
so that we can rebuild, put systems in place, automate things that have been for so long an arduous process. Can I tell y'all that I actually trained all 200 plus of those students personally?
Wow.
I took time out and I trained each and every and mentored them. They had my personal cell phone number and I mentored, and I still mentor them today. We still, if they have an interview, I coach them through the interview. If they have a problem on their job, there's so many companies need to be writing me a check right now because I solved their problem. You know what I'm saying? But so we're automating that so that we can serve more people in the same amount of time, because you know that the need is great.
Absolutely.
So I would say mentor, long story short, I would say having a mentor and valuing someone to give me a roadmap or a blueprint to success or some things along the way.
That is good. And you know, that's something that, you know, we pride at BEI in working with our entrepreneurs, because it's hard. Entrepreneurship is hard. And as you were sharing your story, I was reminded about my story and my transition from corporate to doing what I love. And I can tell that you're passionate about serving and passionate about doing what God has called you to do. And in this journey, we know we have those high low moments where things are challenging, things are hard, and so many people give up. They toss in the towel. But for you, you're keeping you have the passion, you have the motivation, you have the faith and trust to keep going. So what has been like your most satisfying moment so far in business, from where you are, from when you started to where you are today?
Oh man, like I have had so many. I celebrate everything, y'all. So it's like even the smallest little thing, getting a return response on an email. It's like, oh, you know. So
I love it.
so it's like we keep it fresh and we keep everything exciting. But I would say one of my most rewarding moments in business was when I went to the table, when I was asked to the table and did not have to negotiate my rate. They asked me, what do you need us to give you in order for us to have your service? You know, to get to that point where people acknowledge what you know and who you are, where you don't have to try to explain or introduce. I was talking to my eldest son yesterday. I was telling him that he needed to hustle until he didn't have to introduce himself anymore. And when I say hustle, I mean to operate in your God self, in the person that God has created you to be be in that purposeful life, in that purposeful living, and keep moving. And that's the thing. I'm moving to a point where my resume speaks for itself, or my reputation speaks for itself. And even in our company, we haven't, if you look out on Facebook and social media, we have not advertised. And that's one of the transitions that we're making in the latter part of this year, is to go full on blitz. Y'all gonna see us everywhere. But word of mouth. We have literally been at the table with a company whose annual revenue is $31 billion by word of mouth. We have been in the room with some of the major brands and the major companies that you talk about by word of mouth. Now, we know and understand it's the grace of God that puts us there, but it's just the fact that to be able to see it done a different way, that we don't have to go out here and compromise who we are. We lead with our faith. I'm a Christian company. Everybody knows that. Everybody know, I love God. It's not that I'm not, weird with it, like have to say God in every sentence and put a cross up in my PowerPoint presentations, but there's
Yeah.
something. And I'll oftentimes get in a private moment, someone will ask me, well, how do you keep a smile on your face every day? And what's that glow? What's that, the thing? And I'm able to share my faith in a personal way. But in this world, in this industry, I just lead by example. I lead with my faith. I lead with who I am. And it's like when you're grounded with those principles, then it's really like autopilot. I'm just listening and walking the steps that God has already laid out for me. And then some kind of way people think I'm a genius. Like, wow, how did you know that the industry was going to make a turn there? Didn't know. I was just, seamlessly, I told y'all before, we talked offline about that limitless lifestyle that I'm pursuing. I'm pursuing a lifestyle where there are no limits, where I don't shut myself down, or I don't talk myself out of it. And I don't put limits on what I can do and where I can go and what can happen, that I can really believe what I'm hearing about who I am. I've learned some great things about myself since I've been on sabbatical, and then I get to end it on vacation. So I'm really happy about that. So I'm absolutely, in one of those places right now where it's all about the work that you've done, the consistency, the value of your voice, the value of your name, putting respect on your own name. So that when you get in the room, you don't have to force yourself on anyone. They're engaged, they're inviting, they want what you have. Give them something of value. Anybody can talk and flash a lifestyle and act a certain way and do all kinds of things. I can go out and take all kinds of pictures of cars that I don't own, and homes that I don't never lived in, and vacations that I'm never gonna go on.
Right.
But what value, how does it display my authenticity?
Yeah.
Again, that individual greatness. So I think that's the moment when my
awesome.
individual greatness became a value to where I didn't have to negotiate.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Talking about when the word says your gift will make room for you and bring you before great men. That's it right there. I love that. I love it.
Wow. ZeEster, I really love your heart and the insights that you have shared so far. I got a whole list of questions, and you know what? I'm gonna just toss these questions out the window. Here's what I'm gonna ask you to do. I want you to look directly into your camera, and I want you to speak to aspiring entrepreneurs. I want you to share with them the nuggets, the gold, the gem, the diamonds, the pearls, the rubies that you've picked up along your way. And I just want to release you to just speak into the lives of entrepreneurs that are listening right now from east, west, north, and south.
Right.
Give them what you have gotten in your secret time that they can take with them and use for their journey.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the first thing I would say to you is to know that you are valuable, that there is a uniqueness in you that no one else has ever possessed and that no one else will possess, that the time that you are in right now is your time, that you don't have to wait for a series of things to happen for you to be who you really are. You are who you are right now. It's all about the world being able to unfold those things in your character, the value in you, so that your genius will show up in the right environment. Oftentimes, you look at situations and you look at circumstances, and it allows you to easily forfeit your destiny. I would say don't forfeit your destiny. Fight for it. And the only way that you can fight for it is by understanding your authenticity, knowing the uniqueness that you have. I found that in God. And I feel like that's the only way that you can get it, is knowing who created you. Talking to who created you to know why is my nose this way? Why do I have the eyes that I have? Why do I have the heart that I have? Why have I been connected the way that I've been connected? And finding that authenticity understanding that uniqueness. So first finding out who you are and knowing your uniqueness in God, you know, spiritually. You can't survive without knowing who you are, because you'll be tossed to and fro. You'll begin to be anything and everything for everyone. And your uniqueness will get lost, and it will go with you in the grave, and the world will be missing something phenomenal and amazing that you and only you could have brought into this world. The second thing is taking responsibility. You learning who you are is a responsibility that you take as a part of humanity. Being responsible for all of the gifting, all of the talents, all of the uniqueness that you have, and not be willing to just be a cookie cutter of someone else, but taking responsibility in every single way. But it starts with responsibility with you. You don't have to have $1 million in the bank. You don't have to have a college degree to be responsible for just your authenticity and who God created you to be. But as things come into your life, you begin to take responsibility for those things that you are here to produce and here to create. And when you take responsibility, a sign of responsibility is quality. A sign of responsibility is consistency. A sign of responsibility is intentionality, that you won't just throw it out there any kind of way, that you'll have a standard beyond anything that anyone has ever seen, that it will become something that you never even imagined it could be. And then you'll start seeing the things that you do begin to create things in other people. The next thing is responsiveness. Being who you are requires that you respond and not react to the things that come. Situations and circumstances are going to happen. But if you are responsive, you are responding from who you are, a place of knowledge and wisdom. We react from a place of emotionalism and fear. Don't allow your emotions to dictate things, because emotions can be they are unstable. I can be happy one moment and sad another, and the same with you. But don't allow that to be your bedrock. Allow who you are, the core and the foundation of who you have known yourself to be. And it's an unraveling. So you got to be patient with yourself as well. So with that, you got responsibility, you got you have responsiveness and respect. Respect for yourself, your voice, what you say out of your mouth, because that means that you respect those that God has put in your path for you to serve. I respect you so much that I'm not going to lie to you. I respect you so much that I'm not going to steer you in the wrong way. I respect you so much that I am going to step back and see, what are my motives? Are my motives clear? Are my motives good towards you? And if my motives are not good, then I will step away from you before I will put you in a position where you're less than where you were before I met you. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, you have to be someone that's duplicatable. Because when you start duplicating, when you start connecting with people, when you start getting into a place where people see you, they're going to see all of you. And so those things that are weaknesses in you, they're going to expand. And you don't want to become a black hole.
That is amazing.
You want to be one that feeds.
That is amazing.
That is what that's me. I think that's what I would tell you, because so many people think about money. They think about, oh, get that bag. No. Get your purpose, because if you focus on your purpose, it's going to be encapsulated in prosperity. There is no way. There is absolutely no way for you to operate in purpose and not be prosperous. There's no way. Try it. Trip over your purpose. Go operate in your purpose. Watch prosperity find you.
That's amazing. You know, we can go forever and just listen and have you pour into us. Just be who you are, take responsibility, be responsive, and be respect. put some respect on it. I mean, those right there was just golden nuggets, and it really hones into true entrepreneurship of who we are, who God has created us to be, knowing that we have gifts, knowing that we have talents. And if we become in alignment with his will and his way, then we will see the fruitness, then we will see the abundance. So thank you so much for, like I said, we can go.
I know. Y'all know. Y'all don't know I'm a preacher too. I'm an ordained pastor. So I have to try, and I have been out of the pulpit for 6 months, y'all.
It's in you.
So forgive me.
No, ma'am. No apologies.
Thank you guys for just letting me share that. But it is. I just want my heart goes out to those who are looking for a way to be fruitful, to be financially stable. And I want to help everybody.
Awesome.
I mean, I want to help everybody.
We want to make sure everybody that's listening, that's out there, that will catch this on the replay on Sunday at 3 p.m. knows how to get in touch with you. Her information is on the screen. It will also be in the chat. So if you want to get a hold of her, want some more of this amazing knowledge and some more information from ZeEster Browning, be sure you contact her, reach out. She's doing phenomenal things. And like she said, she wants to help, being a servant leader, and wants people to truly thrive. Guys, don't forget to register for the boot camp. Like I want to go, but it's time to go. It's time to go. So we'll be back next week with a more amazing guest. So guys, you have a wonderful, wonderful evening, and we'll be sure to watch the replay on Sunday at 3 p.m.
Thank you, ZeEster. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.